hungry?
Here. Good boy. Hi, I'm Tara, here with Falco, who I think some of you met last week. So Falco, we actually rescued in the middle of September, but he spent almost a month at Cornell and didn't come home until last Thursday. And this is Falco's lunchtime bottle. So he's gonna drink 2 liters of milk right now, which is gonna hold him over for the next 6 hours. And he's probably gonna be pretty upset when the bottle's empty. He might bop me in the stomach. So for anyone who didn't watch last week, Falco was rescued when he was just 10 days old, and he was really sick. He was super skinny, and he had a navel infection that was so bad that he actually had maggots in his navel, as well as on his bum and in his ear. And he had to go to Cornell, where he got IV fluids and IV antibiotics and a plasma transfusion, and he had to have IV nutrition because he was so sick. And for a while we didn't know if he was going to make it, but luckily he did, and now he's back. He's still on some antibiotics, he still has some pneumonia, and we have to keep a really close eye on his legs, but well, he's doing much better. It's our feed delivery truck that's leaving. And he's actually almost 100 pounds. He's like 99 point something pounds. So he's gaining weight, but he's still way smaller than someone his age should be. He's a good drinker. So that bop is a lovely thing that they do to their moms, which I cannot imagine how that feels. Because it hurts when it's just the bottle going into your stomach. You're almost done, buddy. And then we'll just watch him being super cute and rambunctious, as a calf should be. The key is to keep the bottle away from your stomach. Alright, I think it's almost tapped, bud. Milk mustache going on. Alright, that is everything. You're done. Good boy. Oh. Now he'll go for the fingers for a little bit. So there's a question about limiting the amount of milk that he's drinking. So in a perfect world, he would still be with his mom. Sadly, he was taken away right after he was born. And if he was with mom, he would drink as much as he wanted and as much as she let him, which when they need milk, they let them drink a lot. But because he is not with his mom, we have to do bottles and just give him frequent feedings. But it would be much better for him if he could drink all the time, but we can't perfectly simulate being with his mom. That's why his mom is so important. You should leave that. I'm getting overwhelmed. Yeah.
Okay. So we have a question if he's drinking cow's milk or something else.
So he is drinking cow's milk, and that is really only because he's a cow.
Do we add probiotics to his formula?
He does not have probios in his milk right now, but that is something that we've done if we've had issues with diarrhea or something. But that's something we see more often when we're using a milk replacer, which is also cow's milk, but it's powdered form and it's more concentrated. Usually when we do the regular cow's milk, we don't need to do the probios.
We have a couple questions asking that he still seems hungry, so why don't we give him more?
So he does still seem hungry. He's ruminating, so he's also eating some grass, some hay, some grain. But if we overload him, he could get diarrhea and that could make him sick. Part of the suckling is hunger, but it's also something that all babies do for comfort as well. So I'm sure he would not oppose more milk, but I don't think that's the only thing going on.
Is the milk that we just fed him, was it warm or cold?
It was warm. It's just like what you do for human babies. I tested it on my wrist.
And why is he away from his mom?
So he is away from his mom, not by our choice, but he was purchased at an auction, so he had already been taken away from mom as a newborn, which is very common because his mom was most likely at a dairy and seen solely for her milk production, and anything that Falco drank would be something that they couldn't sell. So often the boys and the girls are taken from mom and fed milk replacer or just sold.
And why is some of his hair missing?
On his back end?
Yes.
That's a great question that I should have addressed. So he had maggots all back here, and so that area had to be shaved and cleaned and took a while to heal. It's healing really well, and now he's got super cute peach fuzz. Last week it was much more just like pink naked, but now it's a fuzzy butt.
Does Falco have any teeth yet?
Oh, he does, yes. He is super cute. I don't know if you can see them. Super cute little chiclets. So they have really big lower teeth. Give them a view. But he doesn't have top teeth in the front because he's a ruminant, and he has a hard dental plate there that's going to allow him to pull grass up. And then he has top molars in the back that are super strong and can grind up everything.
We had another question of where we get the milk from.
So we bought the milk at the store. And the only reason a group of vegans went to the store to buy cow's milk is because it is for a baby cow. And when we take responsibility for a calf or any animal at the sanctuary, we're going to do what they need. And so he needs cow's milk, and we don't have cows here who are just producing milk for nobody. So we had to go out and get milk.
So how old is Falco?
So Falco was born on September 9th. So he's almost 2 months old. Month and a half? I can't do math. Not 2 months old. But he is the size of like our week-old calf. Charlie, who I'm sure you all met.
So do cows ever adopt calves that aren't theirs and let them nurse?
They do sometimes, but it's not something that can be forced. And we don't have, so we only have one cow right now who's producing milk, and that's Nancy, who just had a baby last week. And she's really only producing enough milk for Charlie. So it's not like we can get milk from her. And he's been so sick and he's so vulnerable that we can't just put him out with Nancy and Charlie. We have had instances in the past where a mother has let a mother who's already producing milk, either because she arrived producing milk and had her baby taken away somewhere else, or someone who came in with a baby and is still producing milk. We have had them on occasion adopt babies, but it's, you know, you never know what's gonna happen, because it has to be something that the mom chooses to do.
Are cows easy to take care of?
They're not. Calves are not easy. Calves are definitely not easy, because usually the calves we get are very, very sick because they didn't get any colostrum, which means they didn't get any antibodies from mom. And then their umbilicus is just a portal for all the bacteria that they're in to come into their body and make them really sick. So he spent a month at Cornell, and I believe that bill was over $10,000 to get him well enough to come home, where he's still on treatments. You know, now it's just stuff that we can do here. So calves are a lot of work in terms of keeping them healthy and getting them over illness. And then cattle are hard. You need good fencing, you need lots of land. You basically need to know what you're doing. You shouldn't have cattle unless you know how to take care of cattle.
And will he grow up to be tall like the other cattle we have here?
He will. We're not sure if he's going to be as big as the other Holstein boys that we have, just because he's had such a slow start. But he will probably be, well, he will be over 2,000 pounds. It's just, will he be as big as the others? We're not sure.
And will he get progressively healthier as time goes on?
If all goes according to plan, yes, because he is already he's so much stronger than he was last week. He has a better appetite, he's more active, but it's something that we'll be keeping a close eye on, because he did have really bad pneumonia, and that could come back, so that's something we'll have our vet check when she's out. And we are watching for other signs, so we're temping him every day, we're watching for any like coughing, anything like that, to see what's going on. How about giving him unpasteurized or raw milk? Yeah, so the question about giving him unpasteurized or raw milk, we'd still have to go somewhere and get it, so that would, you know, probably be fine for him. That's just harder for us to get. He's lying to you. He's trying to make me look like a bad caregiver. He gets fed again. He gets his milk again in 6 hours. He has access to food, though, in between. So he is to a point in his life where he should be getting, if he was with mom, he would be drinking milk, he would be eating grass, he would be eating hay, and then we give him some calf starter that's also good. So if we fed him milk all the time, he probably wouldn't start eating those other things that he really does need to be healthy.
So Shannon's asking us how affectionate cows are towards humans in general, and is it different with cows that are raised and bottle fed by humans?
So it can be who are bottle fed. Usually the bottle babies are pretty affectionate with us because it's just a totally different relationship. We're trying to become their mother, and so they're looking to us in that same like affectionate way that they would look to their mom, whereas a baby who comes in with mom might not need very much from us, and so then might not be as trusting of us or have that same relationship. But cattle can be super affectionate, but they're all individuals. So we have cows that were rescued as calves who are, you know, would rather be with other cattle than with us, and then we have cattle who came in as adults and weren't bottle babies with us, but they're still super affectionate. So it just depends.
So is there a reason right now why he cannot be around other cattle?
Yes, so he is still really fragile, and so we don't want him exposed to the other guys. And he also recently had cryptosporidium, which is a pretty nasty thing to have, and we don't want him to spread that onto our pastures, and that's something that can make human children really sick. So we have to be careful about having him somewhere where other people are going to be.
So will he stay with us for life, and what will his life be like at Farm Sanctuary?
He will stay with us for life in our small animal hospital, because here we can keep a really close eye on him, and we can keep him warm at night. It's been getting pretty cold here in the evenings. And then when he's a little bit bigger and stronger, he'll move into our special needs herd, where he will have other bovine companions and some younger cattle to play with. And he's going to, for the most part, do what he wants. We don't make them do much unless we really have to do something. So he'll spend his days in the spring, summer, and fall outside grazing with the herd. He'll spend his winters like eating hay and probably laying out in the snow, because that seems to be what the cattle like to do, even though they have access to a nice warm barn. And he'll just get to be, well, he's a bull now, but he'll get to be a steer because he'll be castrated.
So how old do cattle here generally live for compared to in the dairy industry?
So in the dairy industry, he would have been killed at a young age because he would have been raised for veal or cheap beef. Here, our Holstein, he's a Holstein, and the males tend not to live quite as long as the females because they get so big. They tend to get arthritis and have some leg issues as they get older. But our Holsteins live to 18, 19 years old, the boys. And so he'll, usually they retire in the special needs herd where they don't have to walk as far. They get to just retire on a nice flat pasture. So that'll be his life. But that's far, far away. He'll spend many years in the main herd, I'm sure.
Eventually grow back there?
Yes, so it's already growing back. It's hard to tell, but he does have peach fuzz pretty much on all of it.
And then how many times a day do we feed him?
We feed him 4 times a day right now. When he gets a little bit stronger, no one's going to want to hear this, but we're probably going to feed him 3 times a day. Right now, someone gets up in the middle of the night to come feed him. And so when he's stronger, we'll feed him larger quantities, but less often.
So do we take overseas volunteers here at Farm Sanctuary?
We do! And you can go to our website, farmsanctuary.org, and there is a volunteer section that has all that information and contact people. We love overseas interns. All right, so I guess we're going to get going. Falco's going to go inside probably and eat that grain that he doesn't want you guys to know about because he wants everyone to feel sorry for him that his bottle's done. But I promise he will eat more and then we'll be back here without you guys. But someone will be back here in 6 hours to give him another bottle. So, bye.
I can film him still a little bit.
Okay, bye Falco! See you later, buddy. Skate is broken. Don't let him escape, Billy. See you, bud.